So I'm not a huge fan of the rapper Soulja Boy, but I am a big fan of YouTube, specifically tech videos. And over the past few days, I've had a ton of recommended videos pop up in my YouTube recommended feed, showing me that Soulja Boy, the once famous rapper, has launched his own video game console. And not just one video game console, but an entire collection. He's got the actual systems, he's got handhelds, he's even got watches, he's got headphones, he did it all. And not just any type of collection, but one that supposedly is good enough to get him in sales over $850,000 in one day. That's what he posted on his Instagram. And I say that, maybe this happened, maybe it didn't, because he has been called out in the past for supposedly spreading some rumors that aren't exactly true. But you know what? I have no way to verify if these are his real Shopify numbers or not. Unfortunately, if you really wanted to fake Shopify screenshots, it's not really that hard. But let's just assume that this is real, that he's really actually sold that many units, enough to bring him $850,000 plus in sales in 24 hours. And let's actually just go ahead and take a look at his website and how he's doing that in this week's episode of Dropship Weekly. So here it is, SouljaWatch.com. Now, listen, you're going to notice a few things here, and I'll take you through them from the eyes of someone that's been building e-commerce stores since 2007. So the first thing that stands out to me is the design. And this website, if anybody asked me to review it, I would basically tell them to trash it and start over. So hard to believe that it's doing as much money as Soulja Boy claims, but maybe not when we get into the products, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But back to the design, the first thing that stands out to me, just like, wow, what are you doing? Is the logo. So this looks like a bad logo from Fiverr, like maybe one you can get for less than $5, or maybe from someone that hasn't even done that many. So, I mean, honestly, it's just hard to read. It's a basic font, and then putting it on a white background like this, I think just adds to making it worse. And yeah, so that's just, I mean, right away that stood out to me. The next thing as far as design goes is the navigation menu, and he has a link to his homepage, and he has a link to his product catalog. I guess it's good that he's showing people where to find the products, but yeah, it's definitely leaving something to be desired. How about an About Us page and a shipping and returns page and a contact us page? He does have live chat down here, but I tried that and no one responded to me yet. So I'll keep you guys updated. Let me know if anybody's actually even monitoring this thing. But yeah, that's the navigation. The next thing that pops out is the homepage image sliders. And you can see here, they didn't even take the time to resize any of them. Like they're cut off on the top, they're cut off on the bottom. It's like a basic site that someone would just throw up on Shopify and not even try to, make an attempt to make it look good. I see here they did superimpose Soulja Boy on the Soulja phone, so I guess they got that going for them. But continuing with design, if we go down to the footer here, again, same thing. There's two different menus, and it's the same menu put under two different link lists. So his home and his catalog, I guess he really wants people to go to those pages, but yeah, leaving a lot to be desired here as well. So it can use some work. Now, let's talk a little bit about usability, and I'll go to one of the product pages. We'll pull up this the Soulja game console. Looks pretty familiar. Looks like an Xbox One S with PlayStation controllers, but yeah, we'll ignore that for now. What I will say about the usability of it, the one thing that I did notice visiting this site a few different times on different devices is he does have accelerated checkouts enabled, which is a good thing. Right now it's showing me PayPal, but when I was on an Android, it showed me Google Pay. It's also showed me Apple Pay. So yeah, I think that's where most of his sales are probably coming from with the accelerated checkouts, because the actual cart itself, I would rank that as an F for design. If we go to checkout here, you'll see what I mean. You could see he just took, like, I think their huge logo, and it just repeats over and over and over. And it's hard to even see, the contact fields where I would enter my shipping information. And then here there's just a little image of a guy holding a box. So again, yeah, an F for design. It's good that he has accelerated checkouts, because that's probably where the majority of the actual orders are coming from. I really don't think people are going through this cart checkout process and trusting it enough to enter their their credit cards. Now, let's get to the reason that I wanted to make this video, right? I didn't want to review a Soulja Boy store. I wanted to talk about why this is giving dropshipping an even worse name than it already has, and that is because of the products. So here, if you're into online technology or gaming, then these products probably look very familiar to you. We have a Game Boy Mini here, now called a Soulja Boy Mini. We have this, again, console that looks just like an Xbox. Here we have another console that looks just like one of the Game Boys. Here we have headphones that look just like Beats by Dre. Here we have some fake iPods. Here we have basically a cloned Apple Watch. So yeah, this is what people think of when they think of dropshipping, right? And it's obvious here, you probably realize this by now, that he is dropshipping from China, right? Soulja Boy is dropshipping from China. And an easy way just to test this is to go to AliExpress.com and actually look for some of these products. So I'll come to this one and you'll see here the brand name. I could also do this by doing a reverse image search, but I'll just search for this company, Anbernick. So let me come here and put that in and we'll search for it. And here you go, right? This is what he's selling. It's on AliExpress for $105, and he's selling it for $212. So he basically just doubled the price. And again, you can see here a lot of the other consoles that he's selling and basically just doubling the price of. Now, listen, there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with reselling products and marking them up. I mean, that's what business basically is. If he's bringing customers to these products, then good for him, okay? That's not the issue. The issue is that what he's selling are knockoff products. And how do I know that? I mean, look, this game comes with Street Fighter. Now, the other thing is that the quality of his products is supposedly garbage. Now, I don't have these in my hands. I'm in Vietnam for the next few weeks, and I don't have time to order them to, our office out in Austin. But I saw a bunch of review videos on YouTube from people that have ordered these things already from him. So I will link up those review videos below this one so you could see what people are saying and see what these products are actually like in person. Basically, he puts a Soulja Boy sticker on the box and yeah, they're good to go. Now, the other problem, besides them being knockoff, besides the quality being garbage, is that they include pirated games. A lot of these say they come with 3,000 games installed, and there used to be game lists available where it was saying you get Nintendo Switch games, you get Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, right? Like all these games that I highly, highly, highly doubt he's negotiated with Nintendo on to be authorized to sell. And you could tell he's kind of been in damage control mode, updating the site a little bit over the past few days, because they do still say they come with 3,000 games. But if you want to see what it used to say, you could just go to the Wayback Machine at archive.org/web and browse his history for the website. It's been indexed a few times over the past couple of weeks, and you can go ahead and just hop in there to 2018, and you could pull up some of the snapshots of the website and kind of see how the products were previously being advertised. Honestly, I think they just removed some of the more obviously damaging things, but there's also a bunch of articles online showing that Nintendo has already reached out to them, basically warning that, hey, we're going to be suing you. So yeah, that's what happens when you run this type of business. Now, listen, I don't know what's going to happen with this website over time. I don't know if it's going to last. I don't know if Soulja Boy is doing this all legit. What are the odds, right? But if I was betting on this, unfortunately, I would bet that if he actually did $850,000 in a day, that Shopify Payments will be holding most of that money. Now, why are they going to do that? To reduce their risk. Again, no insider information here, but I just know how payment processors work. And if someone just comes out of nowhere, has a massive sales day or week like that, they do hold those funds to make sure the business is legit, to make sure customers are actually receiving what they ordered, and to really make sure that they're not, having too much risk exposed to a business that they know nothing about. Now, if they do that, if Shopify holds the funds, what does that mean for the customers? Well, most likely it means they're not going to get what they bought, because guess what? If he doesn't have the money and it's being held, then he has to lay out the money to fulfill these orders. Does he have it? I don't know. He's doing video shout outs for $100. So it seems like money's tight, but yeah, maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But unfortunately, again, if I was betting money, I would have to say that my money would be on the fact that people are not going to get what they received. Those 30,000 plus orders that came in one day, I highly doubt most of them will be shipping unless there's access to these funds and unless they get out before this company gets sued by Nintendo and by everybody else's games that they're ripping off. So unfortunately, if that happens, if customers don't get what they received, and if, whether that be because the money's being held up or because they get sued and put out of business, what that's going to mean is even more people are going to start thinking that drop shipping is a scam. And honestly, with so many things like this popping up online, it's really hard to blame the general population for assuming that drop shipping is a scam. I did another video maybe 6 months back, and I will link to it on the top right of this video. It was about two different mainstream media publications that were talking about bad experiences people had with drop shipping. So again, it has a terrible name because unsuspecting customers, they're seeing ads for stuff like this on Instagram and Facebook. They're going to these websites and they're buying products that are being falsely advertised. They're being sold by fly-by-night companies that have no idea what they're doing. And these companies are promising the world and then under-delivering. And that means customers call dropshipping a scam. So listen, I got good news and I got bad news for you when it comes to what this means for us, for business owners. The bad news is that dropshipping as a business term, I really think it is dead. I think it's been dead for a while. You could see my video called Stop Dropshipping, where I get deep into that. I'll link to that above also. Now, the good news for us is that there still is a ton of opportunity, and this business model isn't going anywhere anytime soon if you do things the right way. Now, I do have a free training. I'll link to that. It's dropshiplifestyle.com/webinar, where you could see how we build our dropshipping stores. Again, I'll post a link to this below. You can come here and register to see how we build these businesses. But the truth is, even if Soulja Boy did this the right way and he was dropshipping from China, let's just say he actually built real relationships with companies that weren't pirating games, that weren't ripping off designs, then no one would complain. But when you get into this model of trying to make a quick buck and sell other people's licensed stuff, it's never going to end well. And that's why, again, dropshipping as a term is dead, but you don't have to be a drop shipper. You could be an internet retailer. You could sell for established brands that actually want you to sell their stuff, and you can make real money. So again, I'll link to my free training that dives deep into that. And yeah, I'll just end this by saying for anybody that ordered from SouljaWatch.com, I do hope you at least got what you paid for, or you will get what you paid for. And for Soulja Boy, I hope that this is all legit and I'm wrong about this and that you don't have to file for bankruptcy and start over again, right? So that's it, guys. I'm going to post all the links referenced below this video in the description. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts on this below. Do you think it's a scam? Do you think it's legit? What do you think this is going to do to further damage the reputation that dropshipping as a business term has? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you all next week for Dropship Weekly. Thank you.